Recording has started.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, December 10th at 10:11. We will offer the opportunity for any public comment before the Board of Commissioners on items that do not appear on our agenda. At this time, you can feel free to unmute yourself, and we will offer you the opportunity for public comment. No one here that would like to offer public comment, we will extend the opportunity at each agenda item before it's being voted on, so feel free to offer public comment under each agenda item if you'd like to. We will look for a motion to approve our minutes from Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve the Board of Commissioners meeting minutes from December 3rd.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on them? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay. We're going to move into our COVID-19 planning and response portion of our agenda, and we will begin with revisions to the personal travel policy. And we'll turn it over to Margaret Gray. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning. The first two items under our COVID-19 planning and response category pertain to revisions to existing COVID-19 policies, the first being the personal travel policy and the second being the leave directive policy. And you'll recall that last Tuesday you approved revisions to the travel policy and then on Thursday to the leave policy, but we've gone back again and made additional revisions due to the new changes, a new guidance issued by the CDC and then adopted on Thursday of last week by the Pennsylvania Department of Health. We think it's very important for our guidance and our operating protocols around quarantining and isolation to be consistent with the Department of Health and the CDC. So the revisions that are presented today really take us from looking at a 14-day quarantine to a 10-day quarantine under certain specific situations. Kristen is also on the call. I don't know if, Kristen, you'd like to add to this. She and Krista both have worked with me, and we've gone through this to make sure that we've captured these new guidance and also added some additional definitions of quarantine and isolation to be helpful to our employees as they navigate through these difficult and challenging situations.
Would you be looking for a motion to do this, or is this just more of a recap? And
I believe we need a motion for you to approve these revisions.
Okay. We will look for a motion at this time. And would there be a motion to the revisions?
Motion to approve. Sorry, give me a sec. Oh wait, I'm alive. I thought I was muted. Motion to approve the revisions to the COVID-19 personal travel policy and the COVID-19 leave directive.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. And then consideration of extending the full remote work status. We discussed this a little bit at prior meetings, but we looking for consensus today. But Margaret, you can certainly give us an update on where we're at with this.
Yes, on Tuesday, at Tuesday's Board of Commissioners meeting, the board discussed the possibility of extending our full remote work status beyond December 11th to at some point first week of January. And at that time, you asked for communication with the court so that we could be consistent with the extension of the full remote work status. I have had conversations with both President Judge West and Court Administrator Kendra Magnus, and they are in concurrence that extension of this to Monday, January 4th would be prudent. They also understand that the Board of Commissioners, along with them, would be reconsidering any extension to this the last week of December. We don't do this lightly. We look at the metrics around COVID-19 and the impact on our current community situation, and we will do that through the next several weeks, but come back to you the last week of December if we think there are reasons to consider an even further extension. But for the purposes of today, we're asking for a revision to our full remote work status protocol to extend from December 11th to Monday, January the 4th.
Okay, thank you very much, Margaret. From all signs and all intents and purposes, as we look at what other employers and other government and nonprofits are doing here in the county, we're seeing more and more an extension of as much as possible remote work status, and they've been using the metric of cases. As they see cases increase with their employees or as increase with their families, they've been taking action to mitigate the spread. And we continue to have instances where we have individuals, through no fault of their own, bringing the virus, getting the virus, and the way that it is transmitted is extraordinarily difficult to be aware of it. And so I think it's prudent. I think it makes sense, and it always can be extended if need be. But as we know, after the Thanksgiving holiday, we saw a lot of transmission and a lot of increases. As we look at the hospital numbers of the people who are inpatient, increasing into the high 40s, potentially into the low 50s, it continues to be a concern. And so we want to do everything we can to keep everybody safe that we work with and that are in our community. And by doing a small part of being in a remote work status, although it is certainly stressful and disrupts the schedules of our employees and their families, it is a very, very worthy sacrifice to make right now to make sure that we're slowing the spread as much as possible and being a part of that. So certainly appreciate the dialogue with the courts. They're our greatest partner in county government. And so thank you, Administrator Gray, for reaching out to them and talking with them. It's super important. But I'll end my comments there, offer it up for my colleagues to add their thoughts as well, and then we can look for a motion.
My concerns are answered by Margaret's communication with the courts.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that the courts are on board with this as well. As long as we're working together on this as a team, it's probably the best thing we can do here locally.
And I would also extend that we or suggest that we also continue for the time being. Our Tuesday meetings should be remote. I think the Zoom platform has allowed CNET to stream us live. It's allowed us all to connect again. Members of the public find it helpful to join in, offer public comment on a Tuesday meeting. And as soon as possible, we can get back into 146 to hold our meetings. But I do think it's important for us to do that as well. And I know it's not what we'd like to do, but I think it's helpful as we, again, go into December and January to be doing that. And so just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page with that, again, with the focus and goal to return as soon as possible to 146. But just wanted to put that out there to make sure we were all on the same page with that and see if there was any questions or suggestions about how we could do things differently if need be.
I agree with you, Michael.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you to my colleagues. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So we would then look for a motion to extend the full remote work status to January 4th. Margaret, that would be correct? Okay. All right.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. We look for a motion.
Motion to extend Center County government's full remote work status to Monday, January 4th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion, questions, comments on this?
None necessary.
Okay. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you again, Margaret. And we will be looking now at a CARES Act discussion and an agreement with some entities here in the county. And I don't know if, Margaret, you'd want to introduce this before we turn it over to Mary Kay.
Certainly, I can do that. As you are aware, Small Business Development Center from Penn State was extremely helpful to us in helping Mary Kay and the county administer our grants to small businesses. And this action today allows us to provide the reimbursement to them for their services, and Mary Kay can pick up from there and explain a little bit about what that scope of work exactly looked like.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Margaret. She did a fantastic job. So the Small Business Development Center really helped us. They were a lot of our arms and ears and such, an extension of the county. We had initially 555 businesses apply. There were some duplications, but they talked to a lot of businesses. There were several businesses that didn't really have, their receipts in order. So Small Business Development Center provided a lot of service. They have 6 different individuals that worked on this process. 2 were interns, and they just did a great job for us. And I can say, Chad, the IT officer, was fantastic in helping us. So it was a really nice partnership with everybody working together. And this is just really to give them, as far as reimbursement for their staff time that they helped us with through the administrative portion of the grant. And they were just great to work with. And I would like to see if anybody has any questions about that and see if we can get this approved.
Thank you very much, Mary Kay. Any questions, comments, feedback for Mary Kay on this item?
No, more of a comment. Just so happy that the SBDC helped us out. As Mary Kay mentioned, just this one large grant project alone, we had 6 people working on it at the SBDC. It took up major portions of Mary Kay's time for several months. I know Finance Department, Controllers Department, Treasurer's Department, Margaret Gray and her staff assisted with it. It was a lot of work, but been getting good feedback from businesses in the community that the grants we gave them were anywhere from a couple of weeks payroll to several months of living expenses.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other feedback, comments on this?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. All right. Hearing none, then we look for a motion.
Motion to approve the agreement with the Pennsylvania State University.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Okay. Thank you again, Mary Kay.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Underneath the human service item for personnel, we would look for a motion to consider the approval of the appointment of Kyra Heberly, and this is a full-time caseworker 2 in the Mental Health and Intellectual Disabilities Office, and this would be for the date of January 4th. So is there a motion to that effect?
Motion to approve the appointment of Kyra Heberly as a full-time caseworker effective January 4th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on that item?
I think I've heard that name before somewhere, Mike, but at least the first name.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Keep going.
Oh, sure. All right. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call the question. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay. And then going into our non-personnel items, we will begin with the submission of the 2021 P Corps Board of Directors ballot. Margaret, we'll turn it back to you.
All right, thanks so much. As you're aware, Center County is a member of P Corps. P Corps is our general liability insurance carrier. And at our last Board of Commissioners meeting, the board nominated Krista Davis to continue serving on the P Corps Board of Directors. She's one of how many people on the board, Krista?
14.
14. It's a 14-person board, and the county now has received a ballot to respond and vote for the 14 board members. And I'm looking today for your approval for us to go ahead and submit a ballot for the 14 members of the board. The county receives one ballot, so it's not as if we can distribute. There is one ballot, and we would be looking for approval to submit this ballot to P Corps. It is due tomorrow. We just received it earlier this week. It's not something that we've had in our hands for very long at all. So that's the reason for the request today. And Krista, as serving on our board, is running unopposed. She does not have anyone running against her for a Class 4 county representative. So we're no worries on our part for that position. Krista, if there's anything you'd like to add.
No, you did a great job, Margaret. Yes, the election brings board of directors in every 2 years, and that's why the ballot is coming out via electronic method, just due to COVID, and we're not meeting in person to do this. So that's why PCOR is reaching out to ask for the county to vote by email. So thank you.
We hope there's no opportunity for write-ins. You are on the third, but
I hope that too. Yeah.
No write-ins allowed.
Is this like a political convention where we can say the great county of Center would like to nominate and preserve the whatever? We go down that route?
this would be the time to do it. Absolutely, yes. Home of the.
We can write that on the bottom of the ballot if you would like.
I think we'll just vote for her and be done with it. I won't make a big do, but hopefully she enjoys her tenure as a member of that board.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think we all are in agreement that we should cast a vote for Krista and make sure that we show, even though she's running unopposed, show our support for Krista. And if there's any other races or any other the votes that you think, I'd be comfortable, Krista, you knowing the people that are on there, and Margaret, whoever you think would be. If you'd like to vote for anybody else, feel free to do it. I think we trust you in that vein. So, but congratulations. We won't count the chickens before they hatch, but hopefully another term on that board. So thanks for serving for us, Krista. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And so we would then, we do have another item for a contract amendment on this commissioner's items.
Yes, the next item is a contract amendment with Top Business Solutions. Extend our existing contract for a period of 12 months at the rate of $6,500 per month to provide all of our copier equipment. The contract total is $78,000 for the period of February 1st, 2021 through January 21st of 2022. We are indeed very pleased with the services that we receive from Top Business Solutions. Our equipment is running very well. We will be next year coming to you with a request to issue a request for proposal. That's something that we do every so many years, but thinking in this particular year, in this environment, that it makes sense to ask you to extend the contract by 1 year. Tom is also on the call. Tom's office and Julie Lutz oversee this contract. I don't know, Tom, if there's anything that you would like to add to that as well.
No, I think you've covered it well.
Okay. Any other questions, feedback on this contract with Tops?
None.
Okay. Hearing none, we'd look for a motion.
Motion to approve the contract amendment with Top Business Solutions, extending the existing contract to January 21st, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay, and then last we have an item for our correctional facility, and this is in regards to our medical.
Yes, that's correct. You may be thinking that you're having a deja vu moment and that you've recently approved this contract. It was presented to the Board of Commissioners just before the Thanksgiving break, and we needed to come back today and add on to and request your approval for a 5-year contract. Just 1 year was presented initially to you, but this contract renewal is to provide comprehensive health care services for the individuals at the correctional facility. Contract total for 1 year is $1,077,922.91. That is for the period of January 1, 2021 through December 31st of 2021. Increases are made annually to that contract as determined by the CPI, and it shall not be less than 2%. And the agreement is, as I said, a 5-year agreement effective January 1st of 2021 through December 31st of 2025. Our warden spoke to the contract at our previous meeting, and this is really just to provide the additional information about the length of the contract.
Margaret, is there a cap on the top end? If there's a cap on the bottom end, I think there ought to be a cap on the top end. On the increases, if it's a 2% cap on the bottom end, that shall be not less than, then I think it's only appropriate to have a conversation about the top end too.
It is the cost of living index for the United States city average as published by the Department of Labor. So that's the way the contract has been the past 5 years. It rolls that forward. So that's the difference.
My concern is that you're giving them a 2% increase every year, essentially, and then there's no governing number for us. If let's say that the CPI goes through the roof, we're stuck with that number. So that would be my concern.
I think the fact that we haven't yet put ink on this, we could go back to them and do it. And I think a 2.5% or 3% would be within the range of possibility. I don't think from knowing where they're at with the contract, all the work that's gone into it, I can't see there being any issue with that. I would hope that they would, they would be okay with that. But I think it's important prior to us signing it that we would go back to them and look at that. So.
That's correct. The contract has not been signed, and the CPIW number fluctuates, so we can go back and put in a number certain, so to speak.
Okay, so that's one concern. Any questions? Any other questions on this?
None.
Okay. All right, so we can table this, and at a future meeting, we can if Prime Care is agreeable. If they're not, we can discuss it more. But I think we have a lot of faith that they would understand our concern and agree to it. So, would there be a motion to table this until Margaret? Would you like it for Tuesday or a week from today?
I think a week from today is preferable.
Okay. Will there be a motion to table this 1 week until the 17th?
Motion to table the contract renewal with Prime Care Medical until December 17th.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this? Final discussion? Hearing none, we will take the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay. Thank you, Margaret. And then any executive sessions to report at this time?
No executive sessions to report.
Okay. We will extend the opportunity for any members of the press at this time to ask any questions for anybody from the county. Please feel free to do so at this point. Any last call for any press questions at this time? Okay, and we can always be reached by email, phone, etc. So hearing no questions from the press, we'll look for a motion to adjourn at 10:35.
Motion to adjourn at 10:35.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you all. Have a great day.